somebody who is just absolutely setting the stock on fire in a good way. They're not burning it like Disney is. No. Comcast is in the business of actually doing business in Orlando. And boy, have they done a lot of business here from Orlando Sentinel right here. Epic Universe drives Orange County tourist tax to best June ever. Whoa! This by Zoe Thomas here. Universal Orlando is bringing epic tourist tax collections to Central Florida with the second record-setting month in a row after opening its newest theme park. Orange County collections soared to about $33.7 million in June, according to a monthly report released Tuesday morning. That's a 10.3% increase over last year. And the highest ever for the month. Whoa! The strong collections in June represent the first full month following the grand opening of Epic Universe on May 22nd, said Comptroller Phil Diamond in a release. Central Florida began seeing the effects from Epic Universe during the first 10 days of May. Tourist tax income for that month rocketed to a record $30 million, a 5.7% increase from last year. It's the seventh time in the past 12 months the county has set a new record, reflecting a commanding year for Central Florida tourism, but most especially Epic Universe. Whoa, this is big time stuff, folks. And here's the thing about Epic Universe, okay? Because the recent earnings was just that was the Q2 earnings for Comcast, and you can see right here that they had an 18.9% increase in revenue from year over year when compared to quarter two of 2024. And that alone is impressive. And we've heard some Comcast executives actually come out and say, no, that's like straight up revenue increase. And the cannibalization that people were worried about when it came to other parks in the area, that being Universal's Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida, that didn't happen. No meaningful impact there. Now, if you compare it to the prior quarter and not year over year, that increase, when compared, is about 25%. Huge gains. Wow. In that same time frame between Disney's Q2, because their fiscal year is slightly off, and Q3, well, the domestic parks for Disney actually went down in revenue by about 1.5%. 25 versus 1.5 negative. Guys, this is huge news. I think this is an unbridled success. I mean, I don't think you can really argue with it now.
Certainly can't argue with it by the numbers. Look, Epic Universe is brand new, and it is not just new in the sense of it's opening a new theme park and giving people alternatives that are the same, but with more space or something. No, it's innovative. It's different. It offers entertainment that's unique. It offers food that's unique. And it's also in its infancy. The amazing thing is the success coupled with the fact that there are still a lot of issues at Epic. It's not a perfect park yet. They still have things that they need to overcome. Fortunately, on the day that I went, which was a preview day for pass holders, it was amazing. The only thing I didn't get to experience that day was Harry Potter. And I like to take my time in theme parks. I'm the guy that takes in all the scenery, and I'm not just about rushing from ride to ride or anything like that.
You're not a commando like me.
Yeah, no, I enjoy taking it all in. And the thing is, there is a lot to take in at Epic. When you walk in to Super Nintendo World, I almost cried, like literally almost cried, because it was something that I'd never seen that level of immersion in something that has really only been imagined in video games. I guess, the Mario movie kind of helped, but it's so unique. It's hard to describe emotionally what an impact it is. And then you have Isles of Berk and Dark Universe, the Helios Hotel anchoring the whole thing. It's a lot to encompass. It's something new. Because it is as new as it is, I think that it will maintain success for quite a while. Some people coming this year and having a bad experience will probably give it another chance in the future once things have died down. And maybe some people saw issues. They're like, well, maybe it's just because on that particular day it was too busy, or this particular tech wasn't functioning. But overall, it's such an amazing place, such a unique place. And there's so much growth potential, not just for Epic, but for the the hotels in the area, a potential shopping district that hasn't been added yet, like another city walk type of a thing. And it really does connect the universal footprint with Islands of Adventure and Studios parks, as well as, like I've said, if somebody wanted to do a Disney level vacation, but only using, say, Universal, but adding SeaWorld to that, well, then they have 4 parks, including an animal-based park in footprint that's actually smaller than Disney World. But the one advantage that Disney has is they have the capability of keeping people in a bubble. They have unfortunately given some of that up with giving up the Magical Express, which was probably not the best idea.
Not the best idea at all. You can maintain that Disney bubble and keep those guests basically trapped in your resort if you transport them to and fro the Orlando International Airport. Culture. When looking at Epic Universe, we know its growth trajectory is looking awesome. The future's
massive.
Right for Epic. Yeah. It's great, and we've seen the financials. I mean, they're way up.
Also
way
massive.
Up.
Also massive.
Oh yes, and those Comcast numbers that I quoted before, that doesn't even reflect a whole quarter in which Epic Universe was operating. That was just a month and a half or so that kind of slipped in there. Culture. What does Disney do in the interim? I mean, what can they do to stop the bleeding here from people just swarming the Universal parks?
Well, they needed to start doing something 3 years ago. In fact, they needed to start doing something 5 or 8 years ago. We can get it all the way back to 2013 when they really need to have been doing something, developing a 5th gate. They didn't take any of the signs along the road, so I don't know that they can do anything. Vash, I think that the time to do something was in the past, and now it's play catch up. The problem is they don't have the people in place to play catch up. They don't have people that envision what that looks like. They don't have people with vision. And that's the bigger problem. The creatives all went to go work on this project and to keep moving forward with its development. So, whether or not a bunch of infected went along, to work for Creative Universal, those infected, the infected are at least are, improving and building on a brand new park with a lot of good ideas, and they're not creating a lot of, silliness within the parks. Like, you don't see like a really dumb idea, splash pad, of the Way of the Water, which smells like sewer a lot. In this park, you see working operational things that have apparently some durability, because you don't have a bunch of non-functional broken things that we see constant pictures and videos of. What they needed to have done, before. It's in the past. The only thing they can do now is play catch up and get to a point of leadership. And that's the other problem. They don't have any leadership. So what can they do? Nothing. I'm sorry. Walk around this place. Doesn't this remind you of what, the Paris, France area of Epcot should have looked like? Isn't that kind of what this area reminds you of? Yeah. Except better.
That's better and bigger and more immersive for sure.
Yeah, but that's the problem, right, Ron? Is that you don't have immersion. Disney is doing everything they can to take you out of an immersive environment. We should have saw this coming. I'm sorry, but when Toy Story Land was revealed and the lack of immersion and quality and forethought, consider this. You are in Florida, one of the hottest places in America, and you didn't put up any shade. You have an outdoor roller coaster, which is also incredibly stupid in Florida, especially because of inclement weather. So you're taking an attraction out of the attraction count many days of the year because it can't operate. This is everything they do is foolhardy. But, so as you continue to look through it, what should Disney have done? Well, they should have done it. It's all in the past. The future for Disney looks terrible. Consider this. How many years is it going to take now that it was recently revealed that they waited to file the permits to tear out the restaurant that was on the island?
Yeah, Polly's.
Yeah, and so I'm going, now, wait a minute. This is going to slow them down. Because now they have to properly, account for the gas line and everything else that was there. And this was an incomplete plan.
I didn't mean to make this a Disney bashing session, but I think it is appropriate to do that at least a little bit right now, because We could have had an amazing sequence of attractions if Disney really wanted to go ahead and compete with Epic Universe at the same time that we got Epic Universe. We could have had a very much thriving Orlando rather than an increase for sure, but not as well good as it could have been. And now I think Culture is exactly right. I have no idea what they do in the interim because it's going to take 3 to 5 years for them to develop all the attractions that they have talked about at the various D23 expos and so forth. We know that they're in construction right now. And they've waited a little bit even to start those, like Culture pointed out there with Aunt Polly's. They should have been starting that as soon as they announced a lot of these projects.
Exactly. That should have happened before any demolition. I mean, any obvious demolition. Before they put the walls up, they should have been taking apart the kitchen area and getting that prepped for deconstruction. Yeah. I'm sure, they're going to be like, oh, well, we'll just shut the gas lines off over here that, in this offstage area where, they are sourced from. That's great and all, but you have to remove or destroy an awful lot of stuff and account for it if you're going to have permitted work done that you don't control anymore, which Disney got just too spoiled by. The most recent example of Disney construction, aside from Project Gamma, or I wish it was Project Gamma crap that happened over at Epcot, is Tron at scale. A brand new attraction that is essentially the equivalent of an off-the-shelf attraction because you've already built it 1-for-1 in China. And you didn't even bother to change it up in a way that would make it more suitable not only for Florida, but also like less of an eyesore. You put it in the wrong place. We'll set all that aside. Anyway, it took you 7 years to build an attraction. Yeah. You think we're going to see this Piston Peak or whatever the crap it is?
But the most frustrating thing about this whole thing, Culture, is that, yes, that took 6-7 years to do, and the same time that Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure was up and Velocicoaster was up and doing business. they just bounced that from quarter to quarter. And the only thing that I've seen Disney really like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and build these things as fast as we can possibly build them, is their DVC stuff. I mean, look at this. This is the Fort Wilderness DVC. It's Disney's Lakeshore Lodge right here. It's about the same place that was going to house Reflections at one point, as Culture has beautifully pointed out in the past right there.
Still Reflections.
This has popped up unbelievably fast. And we saw that with the Poly Tower as well. And it's like...
Okay, but to be fair, Vash, they prepped that land in 2019. Okay, the land was prepped and stagnant for years and years and years before they did this, and they had stopped with the infrastructure on that. And one of the reasons I know this from personal experience is it wasn't a very long period of time. I'll give you that, but for I think it was 4 days, I technically worked at Hoop to Do. I had taken a transfer over to Hoop to Do. The fact that it's right behind Pioneer Hall destroys the theming of all.
It completely destroys it, and that's what Disney's committed to. They're committed to destroying their legacy, destroying what made them magical, especially in the hearts and minds of guests that can even afford to pay for a vacation. And rather than having that stuff available so that people can actually book vacations and pass it down to their kids and indenture a new generation to Disney magic, they haven't done that at all. Instead, they're just dead set on destroying what was there and doing it slowly at a glacial pace, which is no good.
They're gonna have to, by the way, destroy pretty much all of the theming of Fort Wilderness the way it is. I don't think they're gonna have a choice after this. It just doesn't fit.
That would be a worse calamity. But look, I mean, their desire to expand the real estate interests rather than the theme park interests or the long-term interests is disgusting. It has been. The minute that they changed Reflections, which was supposed to blend in to the area, to this other concept and add 900 rooms in one place, it was a very bad idea. And it's killing them. They're done. If the stewards of the Disney brand, and right now, unfortunately, that's all the institutional investment houses, don't come to their senses, they will destroy its future. It's just the truth.
It's so profound, and it's so accurate. Look, if you want that old Disney quality from the 80s and 90s, you gotta go over to Universal rather than Disney right now, because they're at least implementing a lot of the things that, Disney used to be known for and loved for.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.